What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Zachary McAllister here, back with another video, and again we're going to be talking about some draft targets, this time for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the Hornets had a surprisingly good season last year. Despite them being a relatively younger team, they made the play-in tournament, so their future projects to be pretty good. And this draft pick could go a long way to getting them to contention a lot sooner than planned. So, without any further ado, here are the guys they should be looking at. At 18 years old, Alperen Şengün won the Turkish League's MVP award. And the Turkish League is no Mickey Mouse league either. It's probably the second best league in Europe. Şengün is 6'10" with a 6'10" wingspan, and in that MVP winning season he averaged 24.4 points, 12 rebounds and 3.2 assists per 36 minutes, while shooting 65% from the field and 19% from 3. He's a really creative finisher around the basket, and I mean really creative. He uses any space given to him by defenders and finishes from some seriously awkward angles. Contact isn't really an issue for him either. He's an elite back to the basket prospect. His footwork is top tier, and while he doesn't look it, he's actually quite strong. He's smart in situations and fakes defenders out of their socks. He shows great patience here and waits for the most optimal opportunity to get a shot up. He also showed a high passing IQ from these situations and showed he could be a really good facilitator too. The pick and roll is an area he thrives in, and he can use his soft hands and touch along with his verticality to finish on these rolls. I think he could be a playmaker in the short roll too. He has some potential to be a good rebound and run guy as well, and when he gets going he can create for himself and others. He's got some serious jets, especially for a guy as big as him. He showed some good verticality as well and can be a threat on lobs. He can take big guys on off the dribble and showed some driving ability. His motor also runs really hot and he runs the floor hard. He's also good on the offensive boards and is always ready for tip-ins. His verticality helps him protect the rim despite his height, and he has a good understanding of angles and uses his body well to direct drivers wherever he wants them to go. There's potential for him to be a good drop coverage defender, and he reads ball handlers well and forces them to make tough decisions. He's also an alright shot blocker. Here are the weaknesses though. His 3-point shooting was pretty poor, although he didn't take too many, so it could just be a case of a small sample size. He didn't take many jumpers inside the arc either. Despite his speed in the open floor and verticality, he's not the most athletic or explosive. He lacks the quick twitch athleticism that most NBA guys have. Things also get ugly for him when his defensive assignment is on the perimeter. The Hornets currently have no centers on their roster, so Şengün will fill a direct need for them. His upside as a scorer and playmaker could be really appealing to the Hornets here. James Bouknight. Bouknight is 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. In his sophomore season at UConn, he averaged 35.7 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per 100 possessions, while shooting 45% from the field and 29% from 3. Bouknight has the tools to be a really effective scorer at the NBA level. He showed he can be a pure 3-level scorer. He glides past defenders and has a deadly hesitation move, which defenders found impossible to guard. He uses his in and out dribble as well to get past defenders. There's also potential for him to be a good pull-up shooter too. He's a good creator in isolation and can definitely create his own shot. He's a natural finisher at the basket, and he does an alright job of generating contact when he gets to the rack. He also has a high free throw rate and gets to the basket regularly. He has good burst in his drives and hangs in the air for a long time when he goes up for finishes. The 3-ball at the dribble is good. His percentages were affected by him needing to take a lot of tough shots though. and I believe he has that microwave ability scoring-wise. He's also a really sulky and fluid athlete. The explosiveness is there, even if it's not quite up there with the best in the class. He also showed he can be a good vertical athlete too. On the negatives though, he's not a high-level distributor. He would often stifle the UConn offense and eventually settle for tough shots to turn the ball over. He also showed a lack of control with the ball in his hands when teams pressured him. He also doesn't offer much off the ball, and defensively he lacks good instincts and can get lost at times. The duo of LaMelo Ball and James Bouknight sounds extremely tantalizing. The offense those two could run could be really fun. That could be a really nice foundation for Charlotte to build upon. Keon Johnson out of Tennessee. Johnson is 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, and in his solo season in college he averaged 25.9 points, 8 rebounds and 5.7 assists per 100 possessions. He also shot 44.9% from the field and 27.1% from 3. Johnson is very athletic at the rim and can get upstairs to throw it down. He is also good at attacking the rim off the catch, although he doesn't have a particularly great first step, and for all his vertical athleticism, he struggled to get separation. He also struggled with contact and sometimes won't fully commit to attacking the rim. He loves the mid-range though. He's shown the ability to create his own shots, a good sign for someone who could potentially be a high-level scorer in the future. He likes the turnaround jumper as well, and can throw these in when he's in the post. For all the good he gives with the mid-range shot, he takes a lot of it away with the three-point shot. He took a few and made considerably fewer. For a guard ranked as highly as he is, this is a big concern, and if it doesn't come along, it'll definitely put a ceiling on how good he can be as a scorer. Even off the catch, it's still not great. His cutting off the ball is very intelligent as well. He's good in transition and can use his speed and athleticism here. He also throws in a couple in and out dribbles and hezzies to help him get to the basket. His athleticism translates to the defensive end as well. He can get really high to swat some shots, and he slides his feet nicely, so I think he could end up being a nice on-ball defender. He fights through on and off-ball screens well, and likes to stick his hand out every now and again to pick guys' pockets. Keon Johnson has some nice upside as a scorer, and if the 3-ball comes along, his pairing with LaMelo could be deadly. Next up, we have Corey Kispert. Kispert is 6'7" with a 6'7" wingspan, and in his final season at Gonzaga, he averaged 31.3 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per 100 possessions, while shooting 53% from the field and 44% from 3. The attribute that stands out most in Kispert's game is his shooting. He's deadly off the catch and shoot. His release is really quick and repeatable. I often talk about whether or not a guy's jumper is certified. Well, in this draft at least, they don't get more certified than Kispert. Contest or not, this guy nails jumpers. And if you're wondering if he's got range on his threes, I can assure you, he can get hot from deep behind the arc too. He's borderline automatic when he's left wide open. Off the ball, he knows where to be and relocates to positions where he can get open shots off. He reads defense as well and runs guys into screens intelligently. He's a great backdoor cutter too, and he can shoot on the move as well, which is important as you'll need to do this a lot more at the NBA level in order to get open. There's also some potential for him to be a pick and pop guy. All of the shooting opens up a lot of driving opportunities for him. When he gets ahead of steam, going downhill, he can be dangerous. He reads defense as well and identifies when defenders step up too high. He's got a relatively broad body and he uses his physicality well. In terms of weaknesses, he offers very little in terms of shot creation for himself or others. He's not as effective from the mid-range, and he's the kind of guy who's going to get most of his shots from 3 or at the rim. Getting any sort of separation with the ball in his hands was a struggle, the passing wasn't reliable and he turned the ball over relatively often, and defensively, he's not awful on the ball, but he will struggle against elite athletes. Corey Kispert could provide some nice shooting on the perimeter for Charlotte, and building this team up with as many 3-and-D wings as they can should be a priority for this Hornets front office. Moses Moody. Moody is 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, and in his solo season with the Razorbacks, he averaged 26.5 points, 9.1 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, while shooting 42.7% from the field and 35.8% from 3. The first place to start with Moody is his jumper, because boy is it a thing of beauty. It's really smooth and repeatable and has a really high release point. He can hit threes from all around the arc. His hands are always in a position to receive a pass and get into his shooting motion. To top it all off, he wasn't fazed by contests and hit more than a decent amount straight over guys. His length is a big bonus in this regard. By the way, he's got some range on his threes too. He uses his jab step to really throw defenders off, and is a good pull-up shooter too. He demonstrates this a lot in transition, and it's a great way to keep defenses honest when getting back. He's an extremely effective off-ball player, and his ability as a shooter means he draws a lot of the defense's attention. He naturally flows into great shooting positions. He's also a high-level shot creator and made more than a few tough shots. He's not a great finisher at the rim, and is clearly not a fan of contact. He showed potential as a playmaker of drives and penetration, and he also has good potential as an on-ball point of attack defender. He utilized his length well to contest shots, and he's even shown really good potential as a rim protector and a good team defender too. He's not a great athlete though, and doesn't possess a good quick first step. As I mentioned with Kispert, 3-and-D wings should be a priority for this Hornets team, and Moody is one of the, if not the best in the class. Well, that was all for this video. If you did enjoy, please put hit that like button, and until next time, it has been your boy, Zachary McAllister. Have a good day.